the efficacy of the holy name has been the prime subject to instill faith on the transcendental nature that is revealed through its potency in our own self. The holy name is very efficient. Haridas Thakur was illiterate. He depended upon chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even though he was born in Muslim family, but he was abandoned. The community abandoned him because being a Muslim, he's chanting Hindu names. There's so much misnomer around him that people neglected him. But he would not give up chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For that, he was punished at 22 marketplaces in the district that dragged him, to give up chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But he did not. Beaten up with, what's called lashes. One cannot bear 1 or 2 lashes and will die. But he was continuously beaten up. But he did not give up. He has a strength which is so much innermost, strength that even those who are punishing him, they were hired people and they were completely astonished. And they were requesting him, why don't you die? People die even 1 or 2 lashes. If you do not die, we'll be in trouble. We have family. You don't have any family. But we have family. What will they do if we are punished because we are unable to kill him? So Haridas told, why don't you throw me in the river and claim after, I died, they threw me in the river and Krishna will take care of me. It may be dramatized, but the point was that he became so much resilient to the bodily conception of life, whether it's pain or pleasure. He was completely aloof from that. He was internally so much happy that he would not want to trade in anything for the holy name. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, even though you are illiterate, but you know the efficacy of the holy name. Otherwise, you will not be, able to survive. You must have realized how efficient the holy name is. And I know that you know it. But Haridas Thakur said to him, my dear Lord, you know that I'm illiterate and I'm not fit to answer your question, but yet why are you asking me? You know me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because you have perfected your life through the holy name, you must know. You must know And not only that you must know, you can explain to others. And Haridas was mortified. I'm not good in articulating words to explain the efficacy. What do I know anyway? But I have faith. So therefore, my Lord, I'm your servant. Even though I'm completely disqualified person, but I'm your servant, I must execute. But can I request you one more thing? Why don't you reside in my mouth, my tongue, and you speak through me, and I will not consider whether I'm speaking right or wrong. That will I say. I will not consider that. After all, it's your holy name, and you possess it, so you possess everything. I'm just repeating, and the holy name can make anybody transparent in potency. So I will not consider that I'm speaking. You are speaking through me. So please grant me this wish. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mind, you are trapping me, huh? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, okay, go on speaking. And Haridas Thakur explains how to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a person, the Supreme Person, whose holy name is so much at par with his potency, whether this is saturated with loving aspect or majestic aspect. In both the aspects, the holy name is efficient. So the proof of the Supreme Person is understood by manifestation of his potencies. And on this planet Earth, everything that is manifested is through your potency. So therefore, by interacting favorably with your potency and not abusing it, your nature will be revealed. Your nature will be revealed. So I have firm faith that behind the potency, potent is there. The holy name is very potent. And because it is your name, it reveals your personality in the same way. So how to process, how to proceed in the stepwise manner to realize this potency. The 9 process of devotional service, the first 3 are prime importance that depends upon proper hearing, chanting, and remembering. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So, Haridas Thakur is explaining with all his humility at command that a person who is simply been supported or is under the shelter of the holy name can develop this personality, his own personality, in the most humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, must be more tolerant than uh, and I think, and because he's taken total shelter of the holy name, only he will be able to chant constantly. Otherwise, no. So the hymns are also powerful, but in Kali Yuga, we do not understand the meanings of the hymns, which are written in more uh, glorification of the highest standard, and the choicest words are used. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, was known in his most loving features only in Vrindavan, not outside Vrindavan. So Krishna, Ram, these are the chief names, or the principal names. Others are out of Vrindavan periphery, and they are called majestic names. Vasudev, because he was known as the son of Vasudeva. But in Vrindavan, nobody knew him as Vasudeva. They know him Krishna. So Krishna, Ram, is the chief name. Balaram is his expansion. But actually, these three words that we have in Mahamantra is Hara, Krishna, and Ram. And the meaning of Hara is the internal potency, which is Radharani. But because we are also potency of the Supreme Lord as a soul, soul is the potency. Soul is not potent. He has been given consciousness to realize himself, but his potencies are very insignificant. On his own, he cannot survive. So there must be constant supply of consciousness, which is the spiritual energy, spiritual potency. So the soul is considered to be the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord. The internal potency, external potency, and the soul is in between. Soul's constitution is internal potency, but he is like a sandwich in between. So sometimes he leans towards the inferior energy, material potency, and sometimes he becomes too much overwhelmed by the internal potency. But his constitution is internal potency. So to keep that institution, the internal potency intact in its original nature is always subservient to the Supreme. Internal potency. How long we are given opportunity to stay within the material potency? Limited. But within that, when we realize the nature, but it is very difficult on our own. Therefore, the holy names are filled with potencies, and they are given as gift to put ourselves in the internal potency situation. When we chant, we will forget ourselves, because it's a constant chanting, vibrations, and properly heard, then it revives our original nature of being subservient to the Supreme. Material nature will not, but as soon as we start using the five senses and the subject matter of material nature, then we'll be in problem. But to survive the body, we also need, but then it should be regulated. It should be regulated. So, the best time that influences us is early morning hours of chanting. There are three ways you can chant. Your personal chanting that only you hear and make Lord Krishna hear, who is sitting in the heart as Super Soul. That is called Upanshu, or we chant our rounds on the beach. That is one way to chant. Another, congregational chanting. That's called loud chanting. But the third chanting, which is constantly done by liberated souls, is in the mind chant. Means your attention is so much saturated in the mind that is exactly like yogi in samadhi, the last stage. So there are three ways. Now, three bejas or the seeds of this Mahamantra is Hara, Krishna, and Ram. And everyone has been understood on the level of Vrindavan, the origin place where they were called Krishna and Ram. And Radharani, the internal potency, is addressed as Hara. You may have known Hara, Hari, and Hara. Hara, Hari, and Hara. Three names are there. Hara refers to the internal potency, Radharani. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Hara is Lord Shiva. He is addressed. Hara means taking away everything. Means he's in charge of all the matter, material nature. And he will be the agency to take away the matter. But chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when Hara is addressed to Radharani, it becomes Hare. So Hare, Krishna, and Ram. Three words are there, right? So they are called bejas or the seeds of the Mahamantra. And the meaning is you address through the agency or the potency. You cannot address directly the master of who is all attractive and all blissful. To attract, you have to approach through the potency, that is Hara, because you are a potency. You are not the master. Even a man has his soul with the same potency as a female, having the same potency. So both are actually the potencies, not potent. Spiritual potency is none. We are not born with the spiritual potency, but spiritual are getting through the person who is realized. We take the holy name from him in order to expedite the nature of the experience, the potency of the holy name. So, Hara, Krishna, and Ram. Krishna means all attractive personality of Godhead, and Rama means one who is the reservoir of pleasure. And that both belongs to Krishna in the original. Both belongs to Krishna. So here is Radha and Krishna are two main entities that we will be dealing with in Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not even with Balaram or Ayodhyapati, Raja Ram, nor even Parshuram or nobody. Nityananda Ram, no. Is Krishna. Krishna means all attractive reservoir of pleasure. Why attraction? Because attraction is the name of the game. Unless we are attracted to something of higher nature, we will not lean to have it or to possess it or to approach it because opulences are very attractive. Krishna is full with 6 opulences. All beauty is an opulence. All strength is an opulence. All knowledge, that is also opulence. All strength is also. Then all fame and all renunciation. A person is very attractive when he is renounced. That he doesn't have anything to lament or anything to enjoy. He is very steady person wherever he goes. So, the 6 opulences are the subject matter of the jiva, and even in the material creation, these opulences are available. But they are some product, but all the opulences belong to Krishna. Right? So, the spiritual opulences are the one which are connected with Krishna. They cannot be isolated and used as a material opulences. You can't possess it. You have to leave behind because it is not in the beginning yours. Right? We have to leave behind. So now, chanting this holy name is giving the benediction just like it is imported from the spiritual world. It has been not manufactured. All this identity or identical situation in the name as well as possessor of the holy name, we are identical. But our name and our body, they are not identical. But Krishna's name and Krishna's bodies are identical. That cannot be separated. So that is the nature of the spiritual world. So it is said to be the treasure house of love imported from Golok Vrindavan or the spiritual world. Right? And that is available. This is the only thing of spiritual nature ever available in the material world. And therefore, in this particular age of hypocrisy and quarrel, Prabhupada said that only hope for our realization of the absolute truth is only holy milk in this particular age, time and place and circumstances. It remains the same. The whole material world, whole planetary systems, they are going in the cycle of creation, sustenance, and dissolution. So this is the time of dissolution, and there is another time will come. But it is keep on going and going. Material nature never ceases to be only up to the end of Brahma. That is Brahma's day. You will see Divas. That is 24 hours a day. But 12 hours is called one kalpa. That is daytime. Nighttime is a dissolution. So jivas are losing their physical nature, either by inundation. And when Brahma dies after his, that's also another big devastations. And all the jivas come under the subtle body called mind, intelligence, and ego. This they are suspended till Brahma gives them body again. So this is the cycle. So the name and nature of the person, you know, becomes little a puzzle. But the potency, whatever he has, through the desire at the time of living the body, is locked up in mind, intelligence, and ego. This subtle body carries him because the soul is part and parcel of the Supreme. It is never created and never going to die. The bodies are getting devastated. So from time to time, so we want to see and stay in the one which is an eternal aspect of us, that is the soul, and we remain in that atmosphere by chanting. It's an eternal, and the process is also eternal. The world in which we will be staying is also an eternal. So to come to the point of the efficacy of the holy name, Haridas Thakur was describing, we have difficulty in the beginning, right, in chanting Hare Krishna, because in the material nature, we have a lot of things which are locked up in our own heart or the consciousness. We call asat trishna. Asat trishna means hankering after temporary things which becomes prominent in our life, material life, and yet we are not satisfied. So that is called asat trishna. It's locked up very deep down within our heart, And the second thing is tight knots of ignorance. That is called Hriday Granthi. Granthi means knot. Hriday means the heart. And tight knots of misconceptions. But rest assured, the spiritual potency can smash both, eradicate both. So, we need to understand that leading us to the efficacy of the holy name. But chanting removes the ignorance aspect. All right, ignorance can be caused by asat trishna and Hriday Granthi. So it is acting like a fog. In the morning, the ignorance is like fog. The fog is only happening in the absence of light, sunlight. The moisture from the earth starts evaporating and stays within the lower heights only. But in fog, you do not see clearly. You can understand there is, the sun must have risen, therefore I can see through the fog a little bit, but it is not a clear vision. So if ignorance is removed, it's like fog is getting removed. All right? Rest assured, the holy name is like shining sun. It will remove the fog. So you don't have to make extra effort to remove your ignorance. Chant holy name and it's efficient to remove the fog. Suppose darker than the fog is experienced when you are under the shade of a cloud. Shade of a cloud. Our situation is that because of our ignorance from time immemorial. The clouds of anarthas or unwanted thing in our heart which was taking the prominent role and making us only materialistic. These anarthas are impediment towards not giving us clear, efficient effect of the holy name. So, but rest assured, the sunshine of the holy name will also remove the cloud because the rays are heating the air and air is becoming mobile and remove the cloud. So if we are under the cloud, you have a choice. Whether stay there means it will take some time till the cloud is gone. But you can also progress where there is no cloud, shadow there. So that is your choice. But the third thing is that ignorance develops into anarthas, and anarthas are developing into aparadhas, or what we call offenses. Knowing the efficacy of the holy name, if we are still continuing our materialistic nature, they may create an offensive situation because the false ego and false education contradicts the scientific knowledge of even practicable knowledge of devotional service starting from holy name, of hearing, chanting. But don't be afraid of that. Only you have to be afraid of only first offense, which is very, very grave offense that holy name cannot eradicate. And that is to blaspheme a devotee who has dedicated his life for propagating the holy name. Never criticize him. Avoid that from the very beginning. Why? Because without the potency and realization, person cannot preach. He cannot distribute the holy name. Without the potency of the holy name, one cannot do. So, one who has been faithfully adhering to these principles of the holy name, which is taking his entire life, so much importance in his lifespan that is dedicated. So never criticize such a person because the holy name will not forgive the offender. So there are many other aparadhas, the 9 main that one must know. But then we are also having different kinds of offenses. They are generally etiquette related to in service of the Supreme in the temple, means seva aparadhas, services. Then there are other offenses to other Vaishnavas, which may be minor, but still offenses are offenses. And then there are dhamma means offenses of our behavior in the holy place. That's there. Because the holy name is supposed to transform all our faculties of expression by words, mind, and even actions. Manasa, vacha, karmana. All three is saturated with the purification aspect of the holy name, and naturally, we should not, by habit of previous, misunderstandings and other things, we should not indulge in dhamma paradas also. So seva paradas, dhamma paradas, Vaishnava paradas, and nama paradas. The aparadas means offenses. Offenses are gross misbehavior. Okay, that is not in the realm of the spiritual nature. Spiritual nature is so much, uh, benevolent, and it is our original nature. It means we are not bereft of feelings, but purified feelings we get. So all these things are very essential in the eternal life, a constant life saturated with love of God. Love cannot be tainted by all these material, temporary, offensive natures. So like that, and then when one becomes completely, reading of all these aparadas, it becomes pure, the purity. So after anartha nivrutti, our process is in on very firm, fixed nature that cannot be deviated. That becomes a verification of our faith. And that stage liberates us. It's a liberating stage. Because we don't have a base material nature anymore. Proper purification comes. And then the process further can be developed through the proper taste. Now, taste is very important. Ruchi means the taste. Right now, we like it. It's very sweet, chanting and other things. But we are not enjoying at that extent yet. Right? It's like a sweet rice pudding, but mixed with sand. It tastes sweet, but it is not enjoyable. Right? So similarly, the chanting after liberation from the bodily conception of life will help us to taste the sweet rice without sand particles in it. So then we need to hanker, become attached to that. Not material, but attached to the sweetness of the holy name. And that develops into different moods of reciprocation in love. So the moods are generated before we dwell into the loving exchange with Lord Krishna. So the highest achievement in chanting is to develop love of Godhead. Premo Pumartho Mahan. This is the first, the fifth object that we have to achieve within this lifetime. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. 4 Purusharthas are there, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put the fifth one, love of God. Moksha means liberation. What is the big deal in liberation? Liberation can automatically come as soon as we remove the unwanted things in our life. We will become free. And still we will be able to survive in happiness in serving Krishna. But more intensified situation happens after liberation. not before. So this is how Haridas Thakur has been explaining. And then after liberation, one has to have a different discipline called internal bhajan discipline to be developed. Right now, we have our external practices, but then we try to dwell in internal, but not much. We should not get into except do the process very thoroughly and practicable, and then after liberation, internal bhajan will start. That discipline will start. So anyway, but this is the path of perfection through the efficacy of the holy name. We need to understand, and Krishna bless everybody. We develop gradually, understand gradually, practice gradually, but increments should be there. So thank you very much. Anybody has any question?
Thank you, Maharaj, for sharing such deep words, and I feel a lot of hope, especially with this analogy of the cloud. And I was meditating on this word efficacy, which I have a definition, which is really interesting. It says, efficacy is the ability to perform a task or achieve a desired result to a satisfactory or expected degree. This is where it's interesting. It can also refer to how well a therapy produces a therapeutic effect on a disease or symptom in an ideal or controlled setting. Which is...
But this is what efficient means. How efficient this process is. Unless and until it works, it cannot be efficient. The gross result, the subtle results, everything has to be counted, But it is building our Krishna conscious future. It will take, and it happens automatically if we are in proper association of the devotees. We are pushed on and on and on. So you may not know that you have passed this stage or not. That is the result of proper association. Prabhupada, society means association has been given. And we have to take advantage and distribute the advantage also. Yes, it is ever expanding movement. It affects to every life, regardless of caste, creed, nationality, religion even. And this is the original cause of every religion. To really go means to connect. Means yoga. With whom? With the Supreme, your maker. It's a big deal. So like that. We don't need to go through Ashtanga yoga exercises, pushing up the nose and concentrate on the tip of the nose and say, Om. No. Chanting Om is spiritual, but other, physical caricature, what they call, they are not necessarily. In Kali Yuga, this age is not for that. When you close your eyes in chanting and Krishna appears, according to what your senses have perceived. But then the holy name purifies that material nature of Krishna and converts into spiritual nature. As our heart becomes transcendental, our soul, our activity, which are devotional service and they are on the transcendental platform. So naturally, we have to be aligned and at par with that nature. Then the progress is there. You may see a little drop of water in the scorching desert or a kind of mirage, but this is not mirage. You have to progress. You know, this is not pie in the sky. You enjoy it every step. Pratipadam purnamritam swadanam. At every step. Chanting out of love for Lord Krishna, you know, the holy name can give you experience that at every step there is dancing. Every step further is called dancing. And Prabhupada said, oh, that holy name is vibrating on your tongue. You know, Krishna is dancing on your tongue. I have not seen Krishna dancing, but Prabhupada would say. But it gives us understanding that there is no difference between the vibrations and chanting creates not only vibration, but also dancing in a very rhythmic way, you know. But the vision should be developed. A purified vision is like that. And Prabhupada says this, it means it is not a poetic glorification. No. That is the nature of spiritual world. And Brahma Samhita, this has been said. You know. We will not be bereft of emotions, but our emotions will be purified by the holy name. Right now, our emotions are for temporary bodies. We have to transport these emotions for the love of God. Krishna showed those importance, and Krishna's devotees like gopis showed that the best in Vrindavan area. So our heart should become Vrindavan, that stage where we can understand our original feeling of love, which is pure and unadulterated. So chanting transport us to that journey of love of Godhead. That efficient. Any other question?
Would anybody on Zoom have a question? If not, don't be shy. Anybody want to raise their Zoom hand? No? Going once, twice. Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Vedavyaspriya Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hari Bol.
Okay, we'll go ahead and end here. Thank you so much for joining. We have some prasadam that we cooked for everybody. We appreciate you coming and sharing these amazing words, these profound words of wisdom on the holy name. Thank you so much again, Maharaj, and the devotees from Austin that traveled all the way down here. We hope that you can come again. Hare Krishna.